I was surprised to see so many videos where people are talking about this very thing recently, and each time they reinvent the wheel and even commit the same sins that they're pointing out in others. Smart people, educated people, people with letters in front of their names, and even an average idiot like myself can see this. I thought, heck, if I can see this, then maybe now's the time to talk about it. Maybe, if I can see it, anyone can see it using the same tools I am. So, what is the problem with too much ego? Remember when I said that the human brain is the most powerful computer on earth? It's programmed through your five senses and your own mind, like your memories, dreams, and even hallucinations. Your ego is what keeps you from second guessing yourself all the time on everything you do. Your mind will never have all the information required to make a perfect decision, and at some point you have to act. Your ego, as it's been explained to me, is a big part of that. Think about all the people you hate right now. Do they have out of control egos as far as you're concerned? Do you want to be like them? Well, most of us are exactly like them, and it makes us easy to control. They are trying to manipulate you. This isn't one day that has a secret lair in the base of a volcano where they hold meetings around a black marble table. This is Fox News, MSNBC News, the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, Hollywood, researchers at various conservative and liberal universities and independent groups. They, along with Taco Bell, the Gap, BMW, the local church. Only we acknowledge that those people are trying to manipulate us. We understand that the car won't get us women, clothes won't make us irresistible, and tacos won't make you happy. Well, the first two for sure. Tacos can make you happy sometimes. Humans don't really have a defense against this kind of manipulation because it's in our nature. You want to control a small group, you can use guns, but billions takes shovels. You dig a path down the hill and they'll follow it like water. If you make it easy for them, they'll do the easy thing, or at least they'll stay out of your way. You start with facts, you then twist reality, omit anything that doesn't lead to the spot you desire them to inhabit ideologically, and they'll march themselves there. Then you can flat out lie to them. It won't matter because they will seek to self repair any damaged portion of their worldview because now it's part of their identity and their ego is naturally going to defend itself. It doesn't help that in the way that determines our ability to be aware of the things that affect our motivations, we are very, very stupid. We're standing on the playground. That guy said something bad about your mother and falling for it, stupid. These kinds of influences are everywhere, some good, some bad, and some neutral. Well, what's so bad about them being in charge? For one, humans are pretty unoriginal when it comes to what they're going to do with their wealth and power. Most of them just buy the same five things: shelter, food, transportation, entertainment, and medical care. Of course, you will need security to keep these things if you get rich. It should be no surprise to anyone that the people with massive wealth aren't creating job mills. They're not buying back their purchased stock in order to prevent unrealistic expectations of growth that leads to layoffs and pay cuts. They're buying bigger mansions and more of them. They're buying bigger private jets and so forth. Meanwhile, their companies lay off people in large numbers while they enjoy their private pools and their gated communities and occasionally go on TV to explain to us why our lives are hard and blame it on somebody else. And they'll throw some money to charity, but you and I will never actually see that. Meanwhile, all across the internet, in schools and media, people are lying to you about what's really happening at both ends, the left and the right. So it's way worse than we're bad at this. It's the fact that we're bad at this and people are lying to us. Further, it's the rush of feeling like you belong to something greater than yourself. Humans are familial animals and we're separated from each other by our phones, our ideologies, our religions, our jobs, our culture, and the urge to feel like you fit in without having to do any of the icky things like go someplace or talk to someone or help someone move or do anything that isn't just sitting in one spot doing what you want when you want, and it's super appealing to do that. You can be a part of some great part of history without having to actually do anything at all. We're addicted to the drama on our screens, and if they do get you to go out to go to church, to protest or whatever, that becomes its own addictive form of natural high from your brain. It's a win-win for them, actually. Even an idiot like me can see that it's not the arrogance or stupidity that prevents us from working toward a different future. It's our arrogance. Without arrogantly holding on to these absurd old ideological anchors, maybe we'd be able to choose to separate out wealth between individual wealth and wealth of an entity. Like, say, having money as we have it now, only to be used by corporations, governments, and small businesses, and people could have a pool of buying power, and we could have 20 or maybe 100 levels of buying power from barely making it to very wealthy, but capped at a certain point? What if everyone had to earn their level every year until they retired? That puts some pressure on people at the top to stay at the top, wouldn't it? What if our society wasn't rewarding people for greed, dishonesty, finding loopholes in the system, but rewarded them for their contributions to society? We can't dream that future up because we are water flowing downhill by the easiest path. And to stop the future that they want from coming to fruition, we'd need to stop. So, do we step up, put effort out, try harder, and take the conversation on ourselves? Or do we just let them make all the decisions and suffer the consequences of their indifference? If we do nothing, and this is the important part, or we keep doing what we're doing, then we're going to continue to be polarized left and right, reaching into the past to find some way forward. They will settle into place at the top of the heap all over the world, and they'll solidify their power. We will lose the window to stand up and say, we want a say in our own evolution as a society. It isn't so much that I believe that they will heap troubles and hardships upon us deliberately. I just think they won't care about us. They won't care until we try to say something. Then they'll stomp on us with all their might, and they will have accumulated all the power. It's already happening. Governments, even in the West, are doing illegal and immoral things to those who disagree with them. And we shake our heads and say, that's bad. Or worse yet, we cheer because it was their team that got stomped on. And that makes us feel good. That's the future we're headed for if we keep playing this stupid game of red versus blue. We need to walk away from all of it. If we do nothing, they will take away what little we have, and the suffering will get far